Do I know anything else?
I want to know if either when you first got over there or when you got back home, if you went through any culture shock. Did anything like...
Yeah, I did. And when I went to Japan, I walked in the latrine. This is the Army's toilet. And the stools in there was very small. I thought I was in a miniature place. It was built for Japanese people. And they're smaller people than we are. And a lot of things was quite a lot different. The people there that I wasn't in too many people's houses there. But they slept on the floor and they sat on the floor. There was not chairs or beds, but that was just part of their way of living. It was not because they couldn't have beds or chairs, it's just because that was the way they was comfortable.
But on the Army base, you just lived like Americans.
Yeah. We had barracks made out of pressed rice straw. They looked just about like the other ones, but if they would be on fire, they'd burn up in 3 minutes. So we had to have what they call fire watch. At night there'd be, see, if you was the CQ, in charge of quarters, and you had to see that we went through the barracks every so often. We went through every one of them to see that there was no fire, nobody left cigarettes on. I only had to do that about once a month or something. The gymnasium caught a fire over there that was bigger than any gymnasium in the school district. Burned in 15 minutes. We had another base there named Chitose. Wasn't too far away. Burned up about 3 barracks and killed a few guys and burned up a lot of equipment.
So, just a minute. Now I want you to tell me about Ticlobin and Lady in the Philippines.
It was pretty dirty. Smelled very bad. There was no plumbing. The sewage run down the ditch to the side, and they didn't eat too much meat. It was mostly fish and things. But you'd see a hog hung up out there, very hot, flies all over, and it was bad. I went into one. We had certain areas we wasn't supposed to be in. It was off limits. Me and another guy went to a restaurant and was going to eat, and the head MP come in there and says, "You guys are off limits." He says, "I'll show you the kitchen, and if you still want to eat here, go ahead." He says, "These people have got tuberculosis and all kinds of diseases." He took us back in the kitchen, and it was quite dirty. The guys working back there looked like he was sick, very thin, and so we decided not to eat there. They didn't punish us, although we was off limits.
Did you know you were off limits?
Yes. I been off limits quite a few times.
Because you thought it was exciting?
Here and there. What?
Because you thought it was exciting to go off limits, or what?
Soldiers have to obey so many rules that you like to kind of break the rules when you get a chance to. So there wasn't too much to do in that place.
Well, when you were in Japan, was there anything, did you see anything about Japan, the part of Japan, like beautiful or beauty?
Yeah,
or
I seen Mount Fuji, and
what was that like?
Well, just like a picture.
Well, tell me about it. I don't even.
I just seen it, Mary, from the train and things like that. I wasn't that close. I hardly went off the base. I I was a little bit disappointed in life at that time. So I went and spent quite a bit of time in the beer hall. And there wasn't a lot to do. I didn't hardly write home until Grandma Marion wrote a letter to my base commander, and I was forced to.
How'd they force you to write home?
They told me, you write home. That's an order. And
so how often did you write home then after that?
Not too often. There wasn't too much to write about. For people that don't know what's going on, and this was peacetime. There was nothing. If I had it to do over again, I would have went. There's a lot of different things to see there. That I did see a lot.
What would you have done? Would you have been able to do anything you want?
Yeah.
What would you have done now? Now what would you do?
Well, I could have had leave time and went to different areas. It would have been quite interesting. And I could have found out where they were. I just didn't. And stayed right around the barracks. Only when I was on this supply train, then I was all over. But you didn't
stop to sightsee.
You didn't stop in the towns very much.
How did Japanese people seem to feel about Americans when?
They seemed to me a lot different than I thought they was. They was nice, polite, easy to get along with. I don't know really how they felt about us, but they sure didn't act like they surely couldn't have felt too good about us. We bombed their cities and did all that thing, but they was nice. But I just felt that I didn't hate them or anything. I just felt that they was put in the army to fight just like I was. So you just had to shoot at each other. They didn't know me, I didn't know them. And all you're thinking about is how you're going to get out of here alive. And I did.